Hey, everyone. We already have a watcher.
Yep, Wally
Yeah.
Kern.
Oh, we have a watcher. And
Wally's in the house already.
I got to fix everything up. I'm kind of like behind and I have nothing to do. Oh, I see. Okay, we're good now. We're good. I think.
So how was your week?
My week's been good. The last weekend show was awesome. The one in Rothschild. That worked out pretty good. Dylan did a good job there. Sold some geckos. And then what? I had the alligator lizards born, not hatched, born.
Yeah, they're born live, right?
Yep, they were born live. Should have been any day. I was like, come on. She looked like she was going to explode at the time. She was, how you guys doing, Moon, over Miami and Wally? And I was worried about her. I was like, whoa. And then all of a sudden I went in there 2 nights ago. And they were just there. And she's already eating. So,
well, congrats. Now, here's a question for you. How often do they breed? Like, and how often you got the male in with her still? And how often?
Yeah, I keep them together. And I was told to keep them together. You can keep them in pairs, but sometimes females will fight females for territory. The female, I guess, is the dominant. So they're going to be together. I don't know if they breed every year. I do know they hold for a very long time. These were wild-caught animals, gravid when I got them. But I traded some geckos to Dan Thomas of Animal House, and he picked out the pair I want. And when my buddy Ryan, he looked at it, he goes, "You might have 2 females here, and that wouldn't be a problem to me. I'll get a male, And he was popping them, but he couldn't get her to pop because you pop them just like snakes.
Oh, do you? That's what I was going to ask. That was my next question.
So, we could tell the one was gravid. You could just tell it was gravid. And when I brought her home, the other one ate like there was no tomorrow. She didn't. She would eat 1 or 2, go off. She was fine. Eat 1 or 2, go off. And I'm lucky that I didn't ruin the pregnancy because I put them in my gecko room, and that's at 78 to 80 degrees. And they got real sluggish. I was like,
they can't take it, huh?
Yeah, so I contacted Ryan, and I'm like, Ryan, why? And he goes, way too hot. Put him in 65 degrees. I got them in this room, and they do great. They do great. I mist them down every night. I do a heavy misting. I got them on a cocoa fiber soil type mixture and tons of vegetation. This one's more terrestrial than it is arboreal like the other ones. This one's not as arboreal as the other. They kind of get in their little crock pots. I got them ceramic bowls type things, and I just put them in there, and that's where they usually stay.
Sweet. Sorry to hear that, Moon, over Miami. I hope she's okay. I hope she pulls through that okay. I don't know much about but a stroke. I don't know.
I have no clue. That really sucks. Hopefully she recovers. So that would be a good week if we have her recover. Yeah. So how was your week?
My week wasn't bad, except it's been hot. Like I said, last Thursday it snowed. Today was 107. Go figure that one out. Crazy. Last Thursday it snowed. This Thursday it was.
Well, you can put on you can cook eggs out on stones.
I'm sure we can. I don't know how much you know about this, but here's a question for you. I watch this YouTuber, and his name is, hold on, I'm going to tell you his name. It's really interesting. He had a crested gecko. I'll give you a little backstory about it. He has a crested gecko that was a female, and it would shake. Its head would shake and wobble and stuff. So he thought he didn't know what the problem was, so he took it to the vet. The vet said everything checked out fine. Maybe she was a little low in calcium, so they gave her calcium. Liquid calcium. He had to give it to her every other day. Okay. She stopped wobbling. She's doing fine, but now she's laying eggs with, she was mated before she started wobbling. Now, my question is what do you think the odds are that the eggs will be thicker than normal? Nick Howell, That's his channel's name, Nick Hobble. What's the odds of the eggs being thicker than normal and the hatchlings not being able to break out of them eggs because it's extra calcium like that? I don't know if that's even a thing.
I mean, geckos get them pockets under their armpits if they get too much calcium. My males get it more than my females because females
You're
breed.
talking leopard geckos, right?
Yeah, leopard geckos.
I was talking crested geckos.
Yeah, but I'm going off of I've never seen it with crested. So leopard geckos, the female puts so much, they need calcium for themselves, they need calcium for the eggs. I don't think it would be an issue. I mean, I've never overdone it, and I never had a crested gecko I've had to give liquid calcium to. I've never had that, not once.
Yeah.
But leopard geckos, like I can see that the females get too much calcium. I can I'll back off on them, the calcium. But I've never had an egg too thick where they don't hatch. This has been a really weird season though for hatching. Really weird season for hatching.
I know crested geckos get them calcium deposits in the back of their throat, like in the back of their mouth.
Gotcha. Yeah. Because right now I'm getting like random. My mid-season eggs are starting to hatch, and I'll get random where it's like both eggs look good, one egg hatches.
Oh.
And I'll just leave it in there, and then it just goes 2 weeks. I'll cut it, and nothing was in it. It's just goop. And I'm like, that was weird. And I'm getting that a lot right now. I'm getting like one animal out of a clutch. I'm like, whatever. So, and there are 2-3 year females. So I don't know what's going on. I'm not the first to say that they're having a weird season either. So I don't know what's going
on. Knock on wood. All my eggs look good.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't. They look great. Tanisha, how are you doing? And Stevie, how you doing? Tanisha and Stevie are watching the show together.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's a weird season. I wouldn't worry about the calcium. And here's how I know this sounds really bad. There's nothing you can do about it anyway.
No.
So it's going to be what it is. It is what it is. Roy's having the clutches are weird. I've never seen this with leopard geckos. It really blew my mind because my rainwater projects, them are 4th year breeders, so they're not old. And it started with them because usually they're in the mid season. So like my beginning girls, they're fine. All my first, I got 10 eggs that you hatch fine, and I'm getting it now. It's my mid-season girls. It's not like the end of the clutches. It's not the beginning of the clutches. It's like my mid-season girls are just having some weird fertility. I don't know what it is. It doesn't bother me none though. I mean,
well, Roy said he's having some weird clutches too.
And it's not like a deformed animal inside either. It's like just goop. So after 2 weeks for males, I go 2 months, or not 2 months, 6 weeks. And then females, I go 2 weeks. If they don't hatch, now they're getting fed off. The eggs are getting fed off.
Yeah.
So it's just a really weird thing. I mean, I'm hoping that maybe I have 2 female alligator lizards because we couldn't get the other one to pop. And
that would be cool
too. There, I show people some. This is how I keep those babies.
That is.
They're just in a deli cup.
Now, how long do they stay in that deli cup for? A long time because they're not real big, right? And then do they grow slow or do they grow fast or what?
I don't know the answer to that. There's not a lot of information on them. There's a lot of papers, like scientific papers I've been reading, and there's like one kid I've been watching on, and that's how I got this idea. I think he's like 18 years old. I don't know if he's bred them or he's getting wild caught because he lives in California. And this is how he is setting them up, and he's getting them the babies to grow. So I'm like, try to true. If he's doing it, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to try to reinvent the wheel. I took the water dishes out of them, but my water dishes, if I can find 1 or 2 of them, I use just bottle caps, like 2-liter bottle caps.
Yeah, that's what I would use too.
And I make sure they're filled every night. And I'm trying to feed them today, and now 3 of them, I just seen another one eat. I was going to grab it, but once they get it, boom, it's done. So I'm on a learning curve with them now. I'm not saying that no one's bred them. It's not that rare, but I'm on turf that I've never done.
Which is good. But that's what I like when I do stuff like that, because then I feel like I'm learning something, teaching myself things. And then, that's the way I figure. That way, if somebody asks me questions, at least I've physically dealt with it so that I know how to handle, Wally Kern.
Wally's here, yes.
Were you in? Did you hear me us talking about the calcium thing, Wally?
What's this look like? Oh, I like that. Yeah, we like that because it shows our backgrounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and now I'm looking to. We're going to get into tortoises, and I put out.
That sounds like fun.
I want to do Russians. I know this sounds really bad, but I want to do Russians because they're imported so much. That's the only reason I want to do Russians.
To stop them from being imported, yeah.
So even if I produce 10 a year, that's 10 more captive hatched or captive bred animals that can go to homes that aren't pulled from the wild. So I'm hoping that I could produce some Russians. I think some people didn't understand what I was saying when I made a post on my Facebook asking who's produced them. There's a reason why I asked.
What was that?
Russians don't like humidity. Camp Kennan helped me out a little bit. They don't like humidity. They hate it. They actually don't drink water very often. They get most of their water from what they eat.
Well, they're from Afghanistan, so.
Yeah. So he's like, you feed them watermelon every other week, or something like that. And I said, what's the trick to get them to breed? He goes, in Florida, they're just hard to breed. But Ty did it. Ty Park bred them. He has
he's in Florida, right?
Yeah. I think I found out the ticket. Everyone I've talked to that actually produces them puts them in a refrigerator and hibernates them.
Oh, there you go.
And I don't know if it's a secret, and I just finally got it out to me. I think Camp Kennan put it out there. So I am going to purchase a refrigerator just for this, find out the temp I need to put it at. We're going to cool our animals, and we're going to put the Russians in there. Now, I was told they're so cheap to get imported. I'm not doing it for money. I don't care about that part of it. If I can offer a good quality animal, like someone told me, like, oh, your alligator lizards had babies. That's so much money. I don't think I'm getting rid of any of them.
That's what you said to me. You said, I don't think I'm getting rid of any of them. I'm like, I wouldn't either, man. I'd set them all up.
Because, I mean, so the Russian tortoises and stuff, I just want to do that. I'd rather see, let's say, more people buy Russians than sulcatas, and I agree. Sulcatas just, I used to sell sulcatas. It was a bad idea. I had a guy at the Green Bay show buy 3. He's not keeping all 3 of those. I mean, we have one sulcata. It's like this now. And it's a handful.
I saw a video on the news of a guy in Japan who has a sulcata. Bought it when it was little. He had it. It's like, I don't know. It's really old now. It's about 40 years old or something. And it's huge. He walks it like a dog. When he goes downtown and all, the town knows he's coming. It walks right beside him all the way down there and all the way back home again. It's pretty cool.
Sulcatas are awesome.
But they get huge. I could never have one here because I can't, the winter, we get the winters here. I'd have to bring it in. Where would I put it?
If I was in South where they can live outside, or Arizona, in Nevada, where they can live outside most of the year, I could probably do it. But someone asked, goes, you should breed sulcatas. And I'm like, I won't feel right selling them, so I don't do it. Russians, your redfoot, your yellowfoots. I want to do box turtles, some different box turtles and stuff like that. And of course, leopard geckos. I am going to look into different species of alligator lizard, but I'm just on my. Everyone should know this. If you do something like I have baby alligator lizards here, I think I could take on the world. I'm like, I'm going to get tons of alligator lizards now. Truth is, this high is going to go away, and I might get one other species. Look at what species I want. I might pick up some more of the species here and see what I can do.
You get
But
caught up in a moment, right?
yeah, you
That's
get caught
what
in a
I do,
moment and
so.
you're like, whoa, I want this. That's what happened to leopard geckos. I mean, I bred leopard gecko. Whoa, I want it, and boom, now I'm huge. Uh,
Yeah.
so I mean, I like these more than I do some of the gecko species I breed. So um, I have that little kid feeling again. I'm like, oh, look at this, it's eating. Leopard gecko babies. I know this sounds sad. I'm like, oh, that's pretty. Put it in. I know it's going to eat. Throw mealworms in every good. I
See,
check on it in 7 days.
that's like me, though. I get the same way, like a little kid, when it comes to that stuff. And then it's like, then you get up there, and then you crash all of a sudden. Then it's,
Yeah. And I know there's a person at the last Janesville show that was telling people that sulcatas don't get big. Yeah,
what?
I know.
Aren't they the third largest of all
Third
tortoises?
largest,
Third largest
yes.
of all tortoises.
And I mean, I don't want to say that they're aggressive. They're more pushy than the other large tortoises. The males will kill each other. They will literally kill each other. So
I
they
know
get
my
the
sister.
big tusks.
My sister lived in Arizona. My mom has a niece, a cousin who lives in Arizona too, and she has a big tortoise farm out there, and she has all kinds of sulcatas. And my sister went there and got 2 of these sulcatas. She gave them to her, so she took the sulcatas home, and one got out because it pushed the fence over. Like there was a hole in the fence, and it pushed the fence over. And the guy around the corner found it and said, "Wow, where'd you get this? Because I like him." So they let him have it. So they only had one, but the one they had would walk up and just bite you in the back of the leg. It would just, it was crazy. Or it would grab a hold of their cactuses. Like they would have cactuses out there, would take a big chunk out of it, and the cactus would just fall over.
I'm telling you, they're drywall killers. Knock over toilets.
Yeah, see?
What we have ours in right now, and it's kind of too small for her. It's perfect for our leopard tortoise. Not leopard tortoise. We have a redfoot. We have a redfoot. And we have a cherry head, but cherry head's a little baby.
Ed,
we have
Ed from CMC's here, and then we got a Facebook user. I don't see the name on the Facebook user, but hello.
Facebook user, let us know who you are real quick, and we'll be able to, say, because there's something on Facebook you have to do when you're on our lives, and it will tell us who you are. But do you know them bunk beds that have frames, like the wood frames, and you can tear them down, and they be a single bunk bed? I just use that, took out the frame, and put it down on the ground, put plastic inside it, and fill it with cypress mulch. That's your pen. That's our sulcata pen. Yep.
Yeah.
And
that's pretty cool though.
And it works. Now, what I'm planning on doing, in my basement, I want to take, because my basement's I have 4 rooms. Okay, this one and my gecko rooms, and then I have a laundry area. I want to condense everything down and make one of them into. I want to just take bricks, so cinder blocks, and put them off into pens and put cypress mulch right on the floor.
Oh, that'll work.
I'm worried about the coldness of it though, so I'm thinking about putting one of them floating floors that you can put in the basement and putting a heated floor on that part, so I heat the floor.
Yeah, they got them rubber floating floors that you put down.
Yep.
Yep.
It'd be really quick and easy. I don't care if they get damaged. I just want them to be safe with it being heated, and go from there.
Ed from CMC, he's got sulcatas, and I don't know if you ever watched any of his videos, but he's got, I think he's got 3 total. I'm not sure, but I know he's got a male that pushes the other male over all the time. It's funny.
Leonardo, I see your name, buddy. There's another Facebook user though that said, "Hey Gary." Sulcatas are great if you can house them. Roll. Sulcatas know their names and all that good stuff. And Leonardo says that he thinks everyone should be able to own what they want, and I agree with it.
So do I.
If you can house it, alligators have cost me a lot of money.
Yeah, people own alligators all the time, and then they don't realize, you can get an animal that gets a few $100 there,
and
or more.
You got your. I mean, these are the ones that you really should think about: your alligators, your crocodilian, all your crocodilians, your large snakes. So your scrubs, and I'm not saying they should be regulated, but I'm saying that people should really think about it. Your retics, your berms, your rocks, your condas, even yellows, your scrub pythons, your matlocks, and stuff like that. The big beefy snakes. I mean, even like your emerald tree boas, the basins will get 7 to 8 feet, and that's a nasty bite. Then you got your sulcata tortoises and your big five tortoises, should I say? Your big five. And then your monitors, like your big ones, like the black throats, the savannas, and the Niles, and
Rocks.
the croc monitors. I mean, even caiman lizards, they get big. You really got to think about it. Like I've turned down 3 since I've gotten my caiman, since I got Memphis. 3 more have come up, and I just don't have the room to have another it's basically a tegu, another caiman lizard.
Are they easy to breed, or don't you know? I've never dealt with them before. So
my research, and if someone out there's watching this and knows different, tell me. They've only been captive bred 1 time, and it was on accident. It was.
So they don't even know what they did to do it.
No. They're down in Peru and stuff. They got farms, which is just land that someone owns, and they go out and collect the babies and the eggs. That's what they do. So Memphis came. I don't know what locality he is, because there's not big difference from the areas. But Memphis is very aggressive. He's not calming down very much. He's just a very aggressive lizard.
Is that because he's been wild caught, you think, or
it could be? He lets me pet him when I'm feeding him, but if I'm not feeding him, he'll bite. I don't care. He can be mean the whole time. I'm planning on, like I've told you and I've told many people, I'm planning on getting out eventually of breeding large scale, and I just want an educational center and stuff. He's going to be a center point. I want to do something really cool with him. He is a male. I wanted a male, and when he got lost, I was really upset. I was like, oh. Like
I remember
there was only 2 in that was for sale at the time, 2 of them, and I could find anywhere. And I bought one, and friends of mine bought the other one, and they were holding off until we found Memphis. And so now 3 more has come up, and they've been adults, and I can't.
He's not an adult yet, all the way, right?
No, he's a 2020 animal. He's got two males and a redfoot. So
yeah, but his sulcata is always pushing each other over. It's kind of
males get nasty.
But yeah, Eddie, he's got a lot of. I don't know if anybody's ever checked out his channel, but he's got a lot of pretty cool stuff. I believe he has Uromastics, and I think he's breeding Uromastics. I'm not 100% sure on that though. And he's got. He's got colubrids, ball pythons, boas, all kinds of fun stuff.
That's another species, Uromastics, that people don't understand what the care they need. They need that hot spot, Oh,
yeah, over 100.
Yeah, Memphis has a hot spot 120. To get a hot spot 120 for that lizard took me everything for that lizard.
Wow.
I had to have a hotspot 120. They get respiratory infections pretty easy, and they eat snails. So it's like, okay, here's snails, and there's nothing to snails, and he'll go to his hotspot. And mine's different than my friends. Memphis doesn't get in the water very often. My friends is always in the water. Memphis chills out above. He might jump in the water because it's always poopy. I have to clean it all the time. But he chills on logs.
That's like those skinks. What are they? The red-eyed skinks? Is that what they're called?
My wife wants, crocodile skinks. My wife wants white. Yep.
They have specific needs too, and if you don't meet them, there's troubles. And then your leaf-tailed geckos too. People don't realize that either. They're sometimes I heard people say you look at them crooked, they fall over dead.
Leaf-tails, well, certain ones, satanics are, but your mossies and stuff like that. You mossies are pretty hardy.
Yeah.
But temps on them, people put them at 80 degrees, they'll kill them. They're 70s, low 70s.
I love looking at the mossy ones because when they're laying on a log and the log is similar color to him, they blend right in. They're pretty cool. They're cool.
I'm hoping another one eats for me.
And tokays
Oh.
are just devils. So
These things are so insane.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Number 4. He's the one that lets me touch him. Oh, that's another thing. Alligator lizards sleep like rocks. They sleep like rocks.
People picking them up. It's dead. Throw it in the trash. Go back.
I thought the first day I was like, oh my god, I lost them all because they're all curled up and that's how they sleep. Yes, I have them sitting next to me.
Well, I would have them sit next to me too. They're cool.
I love these little guys.
Yeah, they're pretty neat.
I'm trying to mark down which one to eat. I put 3 crickets in each bin. Oh man. So your eggs gonna be hatching here soon.
I would think they're getting pretty big. The first 2 are getting pretty big.
You incubate as female, right?
Yeah.
So you're looking at about 50 days?
And yeah, let me see here. And they were laid on. Let me look at my little spreadsheet that I got. Wally got me into spreadsheets, you know, so. I don't have it written on that. They were laid in
last month sometime. Or a month before that.
Yeah, well, I got 2 that were laid at 5:13. I had ones at 5:30, 5:13, and then the ones were before that were 4 something.
So 4 something, you'd be looking this month.
4:20ish maybe.
Be looking this month.
Yep, let's hope. Hey, we'll know. We'll know what's going on with them.
You're gonna get some clouded stuff.
You'll be the first to see pictures.
Yeah, I hatched out a clouded the other day. I posted it up. Got a little reverse stripe.
Yep. That one, I like that one.
I think this one ate too. Gee, yep, it did. That one ate. They're chubbers, man. I need more of them now, but like I said, it's my born high. I've been putting out videos lately too.
Oh, you have, yes. I put a couple videos out. One.
I record with this. This is all I use. I have this sitting here. This is another one I could use, and I don't use that one. I use this. I'm thinking about selling this.
That would be cool.
I'm thinking about investing into an R6.
And that you could take videos with that one?
Yeah, the R6 is the one of the newer. Well, R3 is going to be the newest one, but R6 is one of the newer mirrorless. Full body, it's full frame, and it's not M mount. Since M mount's gone, they discontinued M mount. So what's out there for this camera's out there. They're not going to make anything else.
No.
I do have the EF adapter for it, but at the same time, I might as well. It's not a bad purchase, but I made a bad move. I should have bought an RP or an R, and then I would be at the RF mount and all these cool new lenses coming out by Canon. I could pick one out, but I can't pick them out now because I got an M50. So,
Leonardo, yes. Wally Kern did a whole video on it. And he showed you how to set them up and what the babies look like. It's pretty cool. He did 2 videos on them, actually.
Oh, yes. Watch Wally Kern's the Supreme Geckos, like he said. They produce really small mealworms, and they would actually be perfect for the alligator lizards. I'm going to pull some mealworms for these guys because I think they'll grow faster with mealworms. But my peanut beetles I got off of, I think it was Sewerfest. I'm most positive. Because I wanted them, and he handed them to me. I'm almost certain it was Sewerfest because we were set up next to each other. And literally, I have oats in the bottom, and I just throw unsalted peanuts, shelled peanuts, not de-shelled, but they have the shell on them, on top. And then every once in a while, I throw carrots in there.
So I do. I throw carrots, maybe little pieces of zucchini in there or something, you know.
Oh, they produce quick. And unlike mealworms and the actual mealworms that we know, I don't think these beetles eat the larva.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Because in
I
mealworms, you have to separate that stuff so the beetles don't eat the larva.
I know when you watch Wally Kern's videos, man, when he scoops that in that thing to seed the next pot, the next tub, it was like all worms. It was,
Yep.
yeah.
Wally's right. I took it and I put it in a bigger deli cup like this big, and I put it, and then I'm like, within 3 weeks, it was just too much.
Did you see Wally's comment?
Oh, but I wanted peanut beetles, and the reason I wanted peanut beetles, I wasn't even thinking of the alligator lizards. I have fanfoots, and fanfoot babies are tiny too. And I'm like, I need to get a mealworm that they'll eat, because my fanfoots I have now love mealworms, and they love roaches, and so then when these were born, I was like, peanut beetle larva. It was like perfect. And it's nice that, Wally has this information out there how to breed these bugs, because if there's ever a shortage again for mealworms, I'm going to be set. I'll have these. I'll have my roaches. I bought 3 new species of roaches at the Rothschild. I got to remember it because I don't remember Rothschild, but we got pepper roaches.
I've never heard of those.
They're huge. They're huge. The nymphs are like this, and they're nymphs.
So what do you feed those to?
Oh, my tegus are gonna eat it. My Nile monitor is gonna eat it.
Watch out! They'll take your Nile monitor down. You'll go in your whole meal.
And protein is good for tortoises too. Once in a great while.
Yeah,
protein's good for them. So we got those, and then I got wide horn roaches. Again, they get big. I got a pair of those, and then we got something called a question mark. I don't know the scientific name of these, but these question mark ones, and they get black and white. And then I have shadow roaches from before, and I just found out shadow roaches can be fed off. I didn't know they could. They clone. I forget the term. What do you call it when they don't breed? They clone.
Yeah.
And these
parthenogenesis.
These things produce, and they produce a soil. Their poop is like a soil like a consistency. It's not frass. So
it's not flying in the air then.
Yeah, they won't kill themselves like dubia roaches that kill themselves, and other roaches that kill them. You got to clean that frass out or they'll die. These don't. It's like a soil. So you can actually take the soil out and take it out to the garden and whatever, and they eat anything. I have literally taken stillborn geckos that were in the egg, thrown in there, and there's nothing left.
Those big ones that you were talking about, holy crap!
The big ones are good. I don't know if the big ones nymphs are too big for leopard geckos, but my leopard geckos eat any roach I hand them. I am going to start looking into producing more shadows. For this reason, shadows tend to, I think they're just hardy. I'm going to pick up more from Paul Pills, just to start like 4 more colonies and so I can start feeding them. They're just insane. I don't like red runners, but I like these shadows.
I wouldn't have red runners for nothing.
And the white horns
hissers seem cool.
Yeah, the white horns are a hisser. They'll hiss.
Yeah, but now the Madagascar hissers though, they're pretty cool, but they have a really strong exoskeleton though.
I feed them only to my big stuff. I do have hissers, but I feed the nymphs off. And I have what they call Halloween, but I think it's just a different look.
It's a color. It's a color.
Yeah. But my Halloweens breed faster than my Madagascars. The Halloweens just, I must be doing something right with them, and I think I'm doing it all the same.
Well, that colony I got with their dubious that I got from Wally, I already started getting nymphs. If you look at, I showed you a picture.
Yep.
I was shocked. I went in there. I'm like, look at this.
I should have took pictures of my female size to show, and I might still be able to go in there and do it because I just got them the roaches from Wally. How big my breeder females are, and they're having babies. And then after I added Wally's roaches in there, then in the next month or two, I could show that they're bigger. I don't know why. I only have 2 tubs of dubias. And if I don't add new blood in there, it's like the females get smaller and smaller and smaller, but they breed. They just get small. And it's very weird. I have no clue what's going on with them.
Yeah, when these get going here, I'm going to start another. I'm not going to feed any off or nothing. I'm going to raise them up because I would like to have at least 2 or 3 tubs going, and then I'll go from
Dubia
there.
sell too. Dubia is something that you can put on your table and they sell. I thought about doing mealworms, but I don't have time. Dubias don't take time, and all these roaches don't take time. So
No.
I need a roach that's small. The nymphs are small.
And according to the viewer that Wally had, you shouldn't feed the mealworms to anything anyway, according to that guy, because they got the bad exoskeleton. So I don't know what's going on there.
I think it came from I think a myth came up because there's still people say don't feed them to frogs. That they'll eat their way out of a frog's stomach.
And that's not true either.
I feed mealworms, superworms to everything I have. Even Memphis has ate worms before. He doesn't like it, but he's eaten them. I think every lizard in my collection has taken mealworms. I think mealworms, when it comes to fatty content, to protein, to water, I believe Wally put it up. He put the proof up. They're almost all identical. Do you know what the difference between mealworms are? It's easier to get them.
Yeah.
I mean, you go buy 1,000 crickets for $15. I got the right price now. For $15 at a show. I get 10. Can I say? I'm going to raise it up a little bit because I'm not going to say what I pay. But I get 10,000 mealworms for $40. $36. I think 36 is on Rainbow's website.
Something like that.
Yeah. So which way would I go? I mean, and crickets, you can't throw in a refrigerator. I could throw 10,000 mealworms in a refrigerator and they'll last 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Crickets also stink.
Oh, God.
We ain't even going to go into I'm not big for crickets at all.
Yeah, but mealworms will not eat. My bearded dragons eat mealworms and superworms. Every single thing. I actually did this. There's no oxygen in it. Their stomach's full of acid, right? So there's no oxygen. Take a mealworm and put it in water.
It dies right away.
It doesn't take long at all.
And not only that, they don't eat them whole. When they bite down, they crunch. You hear it crunch.
Yeah, most of my leopard geckos do. I mean, a frog may not, but I don't know about all frogs. I'm not a frog expert. I'm not even close. I probably wouldn't feed mealworms to my dart frogs, but I know Pac-Mans have teeth.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing with tarantulas and mealworms or superworms. If you drop one in there and a superworm buries itself, and a tarantula doesn't grab it, and then a tarantula goes to molt when it's in that vulnerable state, the mealworm can come up and eat a leg or something off, So make sure if you put them in with your tarantulas, the tarantulas grab them right away. That's the only thing there.
That's what I would do too. I would.
But with anything else, I don't think there's a problem. I see people drop them in tanks. Fish come up and eat them right up top of the water.
I got a cricket out. There we go. Yeah, I am. These guys are all eating. They're all eating. I'm so excited. Number 4 doesn't look so hot though, but that happens with babies. This one here, right here, he doesn't react like the rest of them. He's very lazy. That's number 8. I'm sorry, number 4. This one right here. That one there, it just doesn't react like the other ones. It's a little different in the back. It's a little thinner. But she moves. If I pick her up, she moves. So
could be just like the little runt of the situation.
Yeah,
so
I think so. And but like I said, I'm learning. I keep looking at them like, oh, look at that one's eating, and it's so they're like vicious little dogs, like, and they'll shake it and. I love it. And the thing is I was worried that the adults were going to eat the babies, and I was with more research that they don't go after the babies.
You'll have a whole wall of alligator lizards. You'll have like 30, 40 of them there from all the babies because you won't want to get rid of them.
I don't want to get rid of them. I got people already messaging me, and I'm like, dude, they haven't even eaten yet. My problem with it is they like it drier. I like misting down. My adults I mist down, but when these get set up and they get eating, I'm going to set them up in littler cubes, and I'm going to give them. They like moist logs to go under and stuff like that. So almost like cave geckos, almost cave gecko-ish. So
I was doing a little research on some of them, and I don't know if these are the ones you got, but they got apparently. I don't know how true this is, but it was something I saw online that. They go all the way from Mexico all the way up to Canada.
I don't know how far north I know they're in California.
Yeah.
They're a big thing in Texas and Arizona and California and stuff. And I see that the kid I was watching, I think he's in California, and I don't know if he's breeding them or if he's catching adult females gravid. But he has a female that he like holds and is friendly. He sits there and pets it. I'm like,
oh,
I can pick mine up, but if I pet it, she'll bite me. I can pick her up like this, and she'll sit there. My female's missing a couple toes, too. So she had a rough life.
She's got it easy now.
Oh, yeah. She's in a tank with the other one, and, like, literally, I hand feed her. Well, not hand, with tongs, I'll feed her. She looks at it, and she'll grab it now.
Do you do any day geckos at all?
I used to have some. I struggle with them. I struggle with day geckos. I don't know why. I never produced one.
Huh.
I keep looking at them, and I'm like, oh, them are cool, and I just haven't produced any. I admit I struggle with some species. I struggle. There's. I don't think there's a man in the world other than maybe I can probably count one hand that can breed everything they touch. That's not me.
Yeah.
I struggle like snake wise. I've done some really rare stuff snake wise, but I've never produced a copperhead.
Yeah.
Nope. I've had tons of copperheads, never produced them. I produced Mojaves, Eastern Diamondbacks, Western Diamondbacks, and never a copperhead.
Something that I'm going to tell you, I have never had a problem doing that with anything. I was told you could never breed discus. You have to have special water and all this stuff. And I got them just to prove I could do it. I did it within a few months. Boom.
That's what I'm talking about. Rocket.
Just to do it. Just boosh. Just to do it.
Yeah. Discus are fun. I think Wally's getting back into fish more.
Wally's got some cool stuff going on over there.
Me, I used to keep fish-wise, when I was back in the day, I had an electric eel. I think it's on one of my videos somewhere. I had an electric eel. I had electric catfish, and I had a cichlid tank, a 125-gallon African cichlid tank.
They're cool, too.
And what happened to that African cichlid tank is I bought a 4.5-inch electric catfish.
And it ate it.
It destroyed every one of them fish.
I had this whole tank set up, right? And it was beautiful. And I was big into catfish. And I had like Cory cats. You named the catfish, and I had them in there, little ones. I went out and bought myself a whole handful of bumblebee catfish. I dropped them in there one day. I'm looking around. I'm like, some of my catfish are missing. So I went to my buddy who was big distributor of all these. He's like, I don't think they could eat it. I'm like, I don't know. They're disappearing since I put them in there. He's like, no, don't worry about it. They're not that big. I went home, and here's one of them bumblebee catfish with a Cory cat hanging out its mouth. I'm like, well, that's where they're all going.
That's what's funny about fish is what can you put in with what? You want different stuff. Like, give me another one. I think I had like a 55-gallon tank, and I had I forget what kind of South American cichlids I had in there, but I remember jewel cichlids, okay? And the guy said jewel cichlids are really timid. I'm like, okay, cool. We'll put them in there. Well, them jewel cichlids got big. They bred and they killed everything, including plecos. They killed it all. And then we thought that the fish, the mom and dad were eating the babies. No, they would suck them in their mouth and go put them somewhere else.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I was like, why are you doing that? But we had jewel cichlids. So then I went back to the place where we bought all these fish. And I'm like, we have all these jewels. And he goes, yeah, they're like the cockroach of cichlids. I'm like, oh. I was like, great. Awesome.
Thanks
I didn't
for telling me now.
Yeah, I was like, now what do I do with it? So we end up giving away all of them. I was like, these things.
Wally Kern's got a funny comment there.
Jules timid. Wow. Whoops. Yeah. They bred and they killed everything. Everything. I mean, my Placo, I had a really cool Placo. I forget what it was called, but it was like whitish. And I was like, that's a cool Placo. I like it. And I put it in there and they killed everything. And I'm like, why? And so we had a fish tank forever of just jewel cichlids until we finally got rid of them all.
Yeah, I got Placos, and before you knew it, I had thousands of them because I was They started breeding. I got them breeding right away, and all kinds of stuff. I never had, like I said, I've never had an issue breeding anything ever.
I did have a gar. I had an alligator gar for a while. I had that
They're cool.
125-gallon tank. Then I had that electric catfish. I never got gutsy enough to touch him. I'd put my hand in the water. Everyone thinks the water's electrocuted. No.
Did I ever tell you the electric catfish story? Okay. Head to pet store. Got all these electric catfish, right? They were little. They weren't big yet. They were tiny. And I don't know if you ever seen them. When you got a bunch of them in a tank, they all go into the corner.
Yes.
And they sit in the corner. So I'm sitting there, and we got this new guy working there, and I'm like telling my buddy, I'm like, I'm going to get him now. And he's like, why? He's like, because he's new. He's got to go through the whole thing. He's like, what are you going to do? I'm going to say, I'm going to tell him to take the catfish and move him to another aquarium. But when he scoops them out, he's got to hold the net real tight because they jump. So he scoops them all into a net. And I said, when you pull that out, you got to hold it tight. And he grabs it and he starts screaming, oh my God, because they were shocking him.
It feels like a 9-volt battery.
Yeah, it's not enough to kill you, but it was just enough. When you get a bunch of them together, you could feel that shock. And I was laughing. They're pretty cool, though.
I got to find a video. I have my hand in my electric catfish tank.
Yeah.
I never had guts to touch him or her. I don't know if it was him or her. But yeah, it's fascinating about stuff like that. Like the that animal can like the electric catfish, they can portray electrical volts, and
it's pretty neat. Yeah, it hurts. If you're not ready for it, it's like just like a shot. Like what the heck? Yeah.
Yeah, not many people know this either. Like electric eel, its body's like this, and a big one is like this, and the rest of its tail.
Yep.
There's not much to the body of an electric eel.
And then they got holes all the way down their sides for sensors.
Yep. I thought
cool.
something was wrong with it when I got it. I thought
holes.
Yes. And I put a sand bottom because they like strong current. So I had like a 500-gallon filter on it in a 125-gallon tank at the end, and I tried to get that current up, and people thought it had ick all the time because it was sand bottom. And I'm like, no, it's sand. It's sand, and they don't have scales like a normal fish. So I was like, it don't have ick, and I ended up getting rid of it because it was just cost us so much money to feed.
They can actually kill you.
Yeah, I like stuff that could kill me. I had a room for the venomous. That was nothing.
Yeah. That's another thing people get. They get fish and they don't realize that like your common plecostomus can get 2 foot long.
Oh.
You get a shovel-nosed catfish, they get huge. Red-bellied catfish get huge.
The worst thing I think about plecos is that they think, they just eat the algae and that's all they need. I'm like,
no.
You can buy wafers. They'll eat fish flake if they have to, but they make wafers. I've given mine cucumber before. They've eaten cucumber.
Cucumbers, they like cucumbers, yeah.
I'm like, study the fish,
And then it's like the pacu piranhas. Everybody thinks they won't get big, but they get huge too. And they like to eat nuts, the Brazilian nuts. They like Brazilian nuts.
Pacus get big, and piranhas aren't aggressive individually. I always tell people that. Piranhas are actually really scared of stuff.
Yep.
They're really scared.
Them. You stick your hand in, and they'll go away. Becky's had one when she was a kid, a tank full.
Yep.
And her uncle came over, and he was drunk, and he stuck his finger in. Well, they bit his finger, and he was bleeding everywhere.
One of the most unique fish, everyone listening should go look this up, is a wolffish.
Seen them, had them. They're pretty cool. I like their teeth.
Yeah.
They lay on the bottom. They look like a log, and when something goes by, it's like, whoop.
They remind me of a snakehead with big teeth.
Snakeheads are cool too. Yeah, they just got big teeth. Wolffish. I had those in the store too.
Yep.
Wolffish.
I remember selling
snakeheads.
Yeah.
Yep. I was gonna say we had snakeheads too, but you're not allowed to get them no more. We used to have them.
Snakeheads.
Before that,
if it fits in their mouth, even if they don't think it can, they're gonna try.
Try. Yep, they'll try. They will try.
Snakeheads are just insane. I never had any in my collection, but I had a wolffish. I actually had the wolffish in my cichlid tank, and then I sold it because I wanted the electric catfish, and I figured electric catfish, a bottom dweller. That wolffish is a bottom dweller. I didn't want to mess with that ecosystem, and that's why I got rid of the wolffish.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was a bad idea. The wolffish was fine with the cichlids.
That's like the the clown knife fish, and them knife fish, they're pretty cool. They're cool too, but they get huge. I know. And then another thing people don't realize is you get like elephant nose fish, and they only eat the little worms. People don't realize some of the care that you have, individual care that actual fish need.
Elephant nose fish actually put off a charge out of their tail.
Do they? Now, see, there's something I did not know.
It's a pulsation. It's not to kill prey. It's because they school. Oh. It tells everyone else. I'm almost certain that's what it was. When I used to get them in at the pet store, because I used to run a Pet Supply Plus. I was wondering why they wouldn't sell them less. I'm going to look it up while we talk. Elephant trunk fish. Trunk fish. And yep, this is it. Electricity, electric, and redirects a. Now I'm trying to see what they say. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be just totally wrong.
No, Wally said for sensory.
Is it for sensory? See, I thought so. I almost was certain about it. Yeah, I was like, it's not to kill something. I used to get them in, and I thought they were the coolest thing in the world. But like you said, feeding them is different than everything else.
Yeah.
They like the bloodworms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I miss running a pet store. I didn't own it, though. But the person that owned it let me do what the hell I wanted to do.
See, Wally says it's like bats, almost like a radar. Yeah, there we go.
See, there we go. See, I know a little bit about fish. See?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So only a little.
Yeah, you probably know 30,000 times more about fish because you owned a store. I was
the best part of it. That was the best part was doing that. Was I loved every minute of that.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm just all about.
Except for the hamsters. Hamsters are pound for pound the most vicious animal on the face of the earth.
Hamsters are nasty, man. Hamsters are nasty things, dude. Oh, that one's good. I'm looking to see who ate, but no one's eaten. I get all these guys missed it down tonight. That's what's going to happen with them.
Now, do they have to have a water bowl, or can you spray the enclosure and they lick off the wall like geckos can, or what?
I missed mine down, but I see my alligator lizards actually go in the water bowls my big ones. They actually go in, and they drink. Now these, I'm just doing it because I seen that kid, but I'm gonna miss them down like I do the other one, just a little bit on the side, just in case.
Yeah,
because anyone new watching this, dehydration will kill your reptile faster than no food.
Yeah, absolutely. That's like tarantulas too. People's like,
oh,
you don't have to keep water bowls in there. I don't keep water bowls only in my bigger tarantulas, but my small stuff I don't. But I make sure it's moist because dehydration will kill them so fast. Oof. It'll be over quick.
The same thing with isopods. I mean, people are like, "Oh, I lost my isopods." Well, did you do your wet side? Did you have a nice area? Well, no. And I'm like, that's it. Ventilation is another thing that people don't understand they need. Everything needs ventilation. And isopod ventilation is probably, if I learned something from Wally, ventilation, because I did that.
That's what I was big thing. Yeah.
I had my dairy cows. He did that review of my cage, and he was like, "Oh, that looks really good, but let's try to put this ventilation here and here and here." I did it. Boom! They exploded. It was like a week later. I'm like, "Oh gosh."
That's why he's the pod father.
Oh God! I was like, just that ventilation, just like that, it did it. Okay, let's go with it.
At his kid's wedding, he was sitting in that room, and people were coming in and asking him favors for the isopods. At the wedding, he's like, "At my own child's wedding, what can I do for you?"
It's an isopod father.
Yeah, pod father.
I'm telling you. Yeah, so I'm setting up this room that I'm in. I'm thinking about taking it because I have this kind of like my computer area too, because I do computer repairs and stuff. And it's gonna be turned into cave geckos and alligator lizards. Everything's going in here. So.
Cave geckos sound like they'd be cool, because like you said, they don't need the heat like your leopard geckos do, and they're like
Yep.
They're like, what did you say they were? They were like the crested
gecko, but they're leopard gecko.
Leopard gecko.
Yeah.
The leopard crested gecko mixture.
I'm going to tease Wally about that. He says crested geckos are better than leopard geckos because they don't need heat. Well, I have the leopard gecko that don't need heat. I love it. I just love teasing them.
I knew Wally Kern would know the exact statement on my son's wedding, but someday I may ask a favor of you.
Oh, I'm telling you, I think that now that I'm getting back into YouTube and I got another video, I think Wednesday's the best day for me to do this, except for probably this Wednesday because it's my wife's birthday. I might have some. Oh, thank you. I'll let her know. I might have something edited before then. I might not. I don't know. If not, I'll probably put it out on Thursday. I just have to start doing it, and now that I'm doing it, now I'm liking it. Now I'm back. It's starting to get that my tongue, wet my whistle a little bit, and
yep.
So we're gonna do it. I might do something on the alligator lizards here. I got so many different topics, so much video. I just got to do it.
Yeah, I gotta get some.
Thank you, Wally.
I got one out last week. I got two out last week actually, I think it was, and I gotta get one ready for this week. Wally Kern said, "Well, talking about my cage, my rack system." He's like, I was like, "Yeah, that." He left a comment, and I told him that I almost lost my arm that day.
Yeah, you sent me pictures. I'm like, well, that would have sucked. That would have hurt.
Would have just a little bit. I might have to do a video on shop safety first.
Wally and I were kind of talking about this at Rothschild. Because we had more breaks. It was busy, but we had breaks. It was weird. It was like half the show would be busy and the other half wouldn't be. And that would go back and forth. But he was going around with his phone. And I know we both have M50s, which are great vlogging cameras. They're just amazing vlogging cameras. And I was like, yeah, that's why I'm using this. It's just easier to edit the footage. To get this out, when I get something like this out, I'm on manual and I'm trying to get everything right, and I'm getting the right lenses out, and I'm sitting there like literally at the show. I'll be like, okay, let's not do this lens. Let's put another lens on the camera. And I think I complicate it too much. I think that was my problem. Now I just
Here's mine.
Yeah, see? And now I have this, and I literally have I'll show you.
Thank you, Wally.
Yes, thank you, Wally. I have this. And Wally knows what this is. It's a selfie stick that I stick my camera in, and literally I have the hi cam now. If you guys watch my videos, I get people saying hi to the camera.
Yeah, I got that.
I extend this all the way out, and I put this right in their face.
I was laughing. That one lady was like, "Get out of here!" And you were like, "Just say hi." And she's like, "Well, hi."
That was Laura.
Oh,
that's Laura, and that was my daughter, the one right before her. So I kind of want that to be my thing when I'm at shows, and I want people to start, knowing I'm going to do it. If you notice, I only do people I know.
Yeah, I noticed that. And one guy was like, I knew you were coming over here, Gary.
Yep.
Hi. I was like,
Yeah. So I had like 3 more people, but my footage was corrupted, and I got it back now. My computer, I recovered it, and that's what I'm trying to do is just do the easiness of editing. If I get my M50 out, it's just I don't know. Then I feel like I'm critiquing my own stuff more. I'm like, oh, that wasn't good enough shot. Oh, that wasn't this. It wasn't good enough here. With this, it is what it is. It's just it is what it is. you know.
so, Wally, I got a question for you real quick about editing because you're talking about editing. What editing software do you use? Because you got some pretty good videos that come out. And I still haven't figured out how to put this onto the computer so I can.
You have
That's
to
what I
use
was
a
trying.
Samsung thing. You have to use a. There's a Samsung device. I use Corel Pro, and I used to use Cyberlink a lot. And now I'm honestly thinking about using Adobe, because I have what's called Lightroom. Lightroom is a photo editing program through Adobe, and I use Spark. That's what I use to make all of our the YouTube splash page, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So I use Spark. If I up my subscription to $29.99 a month, I will have access to Adobe's video editing and a few other things. Lightworks in the past free, and now I use Adobe. See,
I'm going to write this down.
Adobe. That's exactly what I was saying. I'm thinking about going to Adobe. I don't know if it's $29.99 a month. I can get that. Now I'm going to look. Added to my account because I pay monthly for my stuff. My Lightroom, because Lightroom is really expensive. But I get a lot of stuff with it. I get with my Lightroom, I get Photoshop with it. I get Creative Cloud, I get Portfolio, my Lightroom, my Spark. And the reason I like paying for it is I can use Lightroom on any computer I have. It's an unlimited license. I got Lightroom for my phones. I have Lightroom for my tablet. And what's kind of cool is, Wally knows this, is the M50 and a lot of higher end cameras. When I take a picture or video, I can actually back it up to my phone. So if I send a picture to my phone, I can use Lightroom on my phone and edit the picture or a video.
Since we're talking about YouTube.
Yep. I've thought about that too.
What is your opinion of these people doing these live feedings? I mean, because I see so many people doing these live feedings now, and I've been seeing a lot of grief come up about it. There was a petition out to try to get it so that they couldn't do it no more. It's not like the Discovery Channel. They say it's because you got a pen, you're putting the animal in the pen, even though it eats live, and people know it. They're trying to get it because a lot of sponsorships are starting to fall away to the wayside because they don't want to be associated with that.
Here's my view on that. They're not the first to do it. They're not the last to do it. They won't be the last to do it. But live feedings come up a lot. In 2007, it was a big talk about it, and I'm sure every year there's a big talk about it. 2007, 2008, 2009, when I was big into YouTube, I was big on not doing live feedings. I wouldn't do them. I wouldn't do them at all. I had venomous snakes. People were like, oh, you're feeding frozen thaw. Feed that cobra a rat. I'm like, no, I'm not. You know what it's like to die from a cobra bite. I don't want to put that onto a rat. So I was one of the channels that won't do it. And Al Kritz is another one that doesn't do live feedings. He won't do it. He just won't do it. So, but there was people that would do it. There was a person called Muff Daddy TV. And
I remember him.
He would do it with Savannah monitors. He would do it. He got venomous. He thought he was cool. He'd do it with venomous snakes. He said it was nature and all that other good stuff. Now, today, there's more channels. There's a lot more channels than there was back in 2007 and 2010. But I don't agree with live feeding videos, but it's not the worst videos out there. And Wiccan Reptiles, which if anyone wants to check out a channel, Wiccan Reptiles is a really cool dude. I started watching his videos. I know I'm late coming to the game, but Wiccan Reptiles is a really cool guy. And he brought up a thing called Verses, and I looked it up. And there's like a lot of channels that do this. They will put a glass cube and put like a frog and a scorpion in there and see who wins.
Yeah.
What is that? Now that there's no reason for it. There's none. There's those.
Yep.
But what the hell is that? Now live feedings, I'm almost on the same thing. If your animal will eat frozen thawed or dead prey, then feed it frozen thawed and dead prey. If not, we don't have to show it.
No.
What's going to happen to these channels are they're showing it to get views, but like you said, the sponsorships aren't going to go on there, so they're going to lose money. They're doing it when you start doing stuff for views and start doing it for money, you lose track of the animals. I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't do YouTube for money. I could care less. I know for a fact Wally doesn't do YouTube for money. Do you know how I know that? Everything he freaking earns, he puts into his prizes. Yes, he does. And so Wally doesn't do it. He does it because he loves to do it. He loves the animals. He loves educating people. Now, is there anything wrong with making money on YouTube? No. No. I think Wally should, because Wally has a really good channel. I think Dave Kaufman should. I really, really enjoy Wiccan's Reptiles, and everyone's going to tease me and say, you don't know. I literally just found out about him like 2 weeks ago. And I really enjoy his channel. I enjoy your channel because you're showing people how to build racks and use your hands, and you don't have to buy these cages from these expensive people. You can really design, and I think you got something going there. And you're showing you're building DEA again. You're building it back up. Yeah. And there's just channels out there. Then there's like people bring up like Brian and Jay. This is how I bring this up. This is how I say live feedings. If Brian and Jay did a live feeding, they would be eaten alive. Yep. By the public.
All right, Wally Kern, thanks for stopping by.
Okay.
He's taking early night.
Wally,
that's fine,
we love you.
Yep.
But so if Brian Barczyk says, "Hey, guess what, guys? I'm going to feed this live rabbit to my gator." Oh my God!
Oh, it would be over.
It would be the sin of all sins, and he would be all over the internet. And I guarantee these people doing live feedings would actually jump on the bandwagon of that because they think they would get views. Brian Barczyk used to do live feedings.
Yep.
He doesn't anymore. I don't know if Jay does. I don't know.
Jay, he doesn't do live feedings, but you do see him feed things. Most of the time, it's like chicken legs to his alligators. Yeah. Once in a while, you see him feed a rabbit, but it's a frozen thawed rabbit. It's not a live rabbit.
Yeah.
To one of his retics, but you don't see much feeding of snakes on there. It's mainly, bananas to his rock iguanas or something like that.
I think YouTube should be a way to promote the hobby in a good way. So if I show someone that my Pac-Man frog can eat frozen thawed pinkies, so this pinky was gassed, which means it was gassed to sleep, and I can feed this pinky just like a hamburger that's what it is, a hamburger in my freezer. It will eat this. It's not as brutal.
Yep, I agree.
And you're promoting the hobby. Just like tegus. Tegus, it's not good to feed tegus furry mice. It's not. They have trouble with it. So feeding them fruits and vegetables and meat and chickens and like pieces of chicken is better.
Do they have trouble with the fur? Is that what they have trouble with?
Yep. The baby shouldn't eat the full-size mice. No. Will they do it?
Sure. My son wants to talk to you when we're done.
Oh, cool.
He said cool.
It's just the live feedings is just for clicks. Controversial. That's what it is. Controversial because I don't mean to put someone down. They can't think of a way to get the views without being controversial.
Yep.
And
I'm not saying anything bad about nobody because I like everybody. I like most channels except for the Versus channels. I'm not really big. Yeah, I don't like that. But as for like, I understand people feed this stuff live prey and stuff like that. But that was something I used to do when I was younger, but they didn't have YouTube then. But
Mhm.
it was always cool to let's throw a live rat in there or something. That was always cool to see. Yeah.
I had a retic. He was about 13 feet. Is a male. Wouldn't eat anything but live. No one ever seen that retic eat. I would show my berms eating. I would show my other retics eating. I would show my African rocks eating. But that boy never got to see because he ate live rabbits. And I'm going to tell you guys this right now. Anyone that has not fed a live rabbit, it is one of the worst things you can do because it screams like a child.
Like a child. Yeah, they scream loud.
And it makes you feel terrible if you love animals. It's a nasty thing.
Especially little furry ones. You're like, what the heck did I just do?
YouTube to me, I think, needs to change. And I thought it was really bad. But there's still good channels out there.
Oh, a lot of good channels. But I think it is going to change. I think there's some changes coming because they're losing sponsorship because of stuff. And YouTube's about making money. And, so.
It's one of them things like, I mean, there's people. Another one ate. There's people.
That's cool.
That takes the fame to their head and they think they're untouchable. And remember when that call out, that guy said something, I forget what it was about. He said something and like 3 people ganged up on him.
Oh, yes. I know what you're talking about.
A lot of things were said bad on both sides.
Of course.
About both sides. And I'm like, well, 1, that shouldn't be said, and 2, wrongs don't make it right. And they're like, well, I'm the big bag bully of YouTube, blah, 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 and I'm going to make it right. Really?
I've heard a lot of people, them 3 people that jumped on that guy, 2 of them feel bad. The other one's kind of still, I don't care. Like,
yeah, well, the thing is they should feel bad because guess what? They made themselves look like, jackasses. And they made the reptile community look like jackasses. Yeah. Now, if this person did something right, I would have rather brought him on and did this. Hey, look, dude, you said some really mean things. Is that what you meant? And give him a chance to explain himself and let him hang himself. Give him the rope.
Yeah.
It's the YouTube community. There's two things I think everyone on YouTube should do. Give out right information. I don't want to flip people off. Give out right information. No matter what, you give out right information. If you don't know, you say you don't know. There is channels still to this day, and they're leopard gecko channels that talk a lot of crap and they have no clue what they're talking about. And number 2, make sure that your content is, good for kids.
Yeah.
Because kids are the reason we're doing it.
Yeah, well, you can't mark your videos kid-friendly because if you do, then nobody can leave comments or nothing. But just don't put nothing bad in. I don't put nothing bad in my videos.
Nope, I would rather the kids because I'm going to tell you a story. They're talking to me on chat now or on my phone. I don't know where my phones are at. Whatever. There's a kid that came to the Rothschild show, and he bred geckos. He has some Skittles from Heidi. He has some blood stuff. He had a little bit of everything. He had like maybe 20 geckos. And his dad made a comment saying, "We're not going to sell nothing. You're here." It's like BS. Watch. He sold stuff at the when I was walking around doing film. I sold a gecko for him.
There you go.
And I'm like, this isn't about competition, dude. We're family here. Well, let's roll. That's just how I am. And the reason is it was a kid and his dad and his mom. And the parents were supporting their child doing something that he loved.
That's what it's about. This is what it's about.
So there's no way I was going to sit there and try to crush a kid in a dream. And I would be 100% wrong. You should never buy anything from me again if I did something like that. He produced really good geckos. The health was there. He kept saying, my morphs aren't as good as yours. And I'm like, that doesn't matter. Your health is there. You'll get there. You'll get your morphs there, dude. You'll get there. And that's how I am. This is how I am. I forget who I was talking to. Maybe it was the show promoter. And it was like, oh, we don't want to have too many leopard gecko. Put them all in a row. Put them all right next to me. Put all leopard gecko people next to me. I don't care.
Yeah.
Because I want Miles next to me. I want Wally next to me. I want Dab Exotics.
You see, I would set up a table next to yours,
Yeah.
and then when people were coming by, I'd be like, "This is actually his stuff. I'm just watching the table for him."
But we just rock it out. I educate and I'll tell people right to their face. I'll say, "This isn't right for you. This isn't the time for you. You shouldn't buy a gecko." I do it all the time.
See what Leonardo said there, right?
Gary's very willing to help, and really, most of the teach hobby is willing to help. I think a bigger hobby can only be good. You're right. You're right. The bigger hobby is what it's about, and I'll tell you something, guys. When I was coming up into the gecko world, there's secrets. Okay, there's secrets in ball python breeding. There's secrets in this. There's secrets.
I would be willing to tell people that's what I do too.
I'm not ashamed to say it. I learned how to breed leopard geckos from JMG. Okay, JMG showed me that you can produce a lot of geckos out of a small space. Okay, they didn't have a big space. They basically showed me you can do this way. Then I took what like Matt Baronic did, and I took some stuff from him. Ohio Gecko, I took some stuff from him. Garrett DeMeyer, I took some stuff from him.
Yeah, he doesn't do it no more though, right?
He does some geckos.
Does he do some?
Yeah, I was just talking to him because I know Garrett as a gecko guy, because crescentgecko.com, but I know more of a leopard gecko guy. That's just how I know him. And I was talking to him at the Rothschilds show, and I said, "Hey, dude, what's going on? You got ball pythons." He goes, "I actually produced more crescent geckos than leopard geckos this year." I'm like, "What?" And the way he's saying it, it's easier for him to produce ball pythons than it is leopard geckos. And it's just what he's enjoying right now. And I support that. Garrett DeMeyer is an awesome guy.
Yes, he is.
If you guys never met Garrett DeMeyer is just one of them people that is wholesome for the community. And it really upset me. Like, it hurt me saying, well, I'm done with it. I'm like, well, you're one of the good guys. And I looked at his geckos, and of course, I don't need very much. So I didn't buy any geckos off of him, but his crescent geckos he had. And he sold ball pythons. I kept going up, and he said I forget how many ball pythons he said he sold, but he sold ball pythons. And we were talking about the leopard or ball pythons lay at the worst time. He went home and he had like 17 clutches.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, we were just talking about that. And it's just weird like that. It's the stuff happens like that. And
well, one thing, this says a lot about a person too. If I didn't buy an animal from you and then I ask you about the animal because I know you have them animals, and you're willing to answer my questions, that's a good breeder. You get some people like, "Well, did you get it from me?" Then I'm not helping you any. Well, that's stupid.
I do it all the time. Like literally, people. Oh, at the sewer fest and stuff, I know all the breeders. So, but I get someone to buy something and they start asking me about geckos. I'm like, what am I gonna do? No.
Yeah.
I just help them out and point them in the right direction.
That's what I do too. I help everybody as best I can.
I'm hoping that.
I was looking at. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm hoping that more people get into breeding leopard geckos.
So do I. I like leopard geckos, but I was looking at Chihuahuas the other day, and then I was looking at the price tag, and I was like, well, they're going to have to wait. I didn't realize they were so expensive.
Oh, my rainwater?
Chihuahuas.
Oh, Chihuahuas. Yeah, they're expensive too. Yeah. Everything's kind of gone up in price lately.
I was going to say that too, yeah.
How I'm trying to redefine who I am, other than leopard geckos, of course. I'm going to start taking everything I produce to reptile shows. So crested geckos, I might slim down. You'll probably end up getting crested geckos.
I love crested geckos. I love the leopard geckos, and I think they're the greatest in the world, man, because I would really want to grow those too, but I like the New Caledonia stuff. I like
New Caledonian. They're fun. I was just talking to Garrett about that too, and I was like, "You got to wait so long." He goes, "Gary, you can get crested geckos the size in a year." Exact words.
Yep.
And I'm like, "Wait, now you got me thinking again." But I told him I was going to go cave geckos. In exact words, he goes, "No one's doing cave geckos, Gary. Go do it." That's what he said. He goes, "No one's doing them. Go do it." But I don't want to just do Chinese cave. I want to get into some other localities, and I want
What's
to
there, like 40 different kinds, right?
27, I think.
27. I didn't know the exact number, but yeah, that would focus in on that.
It might be 23. I know it's somewhere around there.
Hone in on it and take it over because you don't see them anywhere. You really don't.
What I want to do is I want to offer, because there's no morphs. So, but the localities look different. So I want to offer some different looks. They were a really big hit at Rothschild. We sold 3. Well, 1 was to a vendor, and 2 was to just regular customers. So that's actually showed me that there's a market for them. Not a huge market because I sell a lot more leopard geckos, but there could be. So I just got to get to the point where I don't want to produce too many where I'm not selling them, and I don't want to produce too little where I sell out and I wish I had more. I got to find that middle ground.
See that crested gecko head up on my D right there, my DEA exotic sign?
Yeah.
I think that was my first hatchling I ever hatched out of a crested gecko, and that was a long time ago.
Oh, man. My first hatchling of a leopard gecko.
I know what mine was. I showed you a picture of me holding it with my fingers like that.
I honestly believe it was a super hypo tangerine carrot tail to a super hypo tangerine carrot tail. And it popped out, and I didn't know at the time. Popped out with bands on it, but eventually it hypoed out. And then my second was a snow enigma, because I bred enigmas back then. That was my second animal I ever produced was snow enigmas. And
I know I saw
and Kelly from Hiss helped me out because I was so excited about it. I put it up and it had clipped eyelids. It didn't have the right eyelids. Her nails show up.
Yeah, this time they show up. They're not the same as they're not green, or they're not. What were they last time? A bluish color?
They were turquoise last time.
Turquoise last time, and they didn't show up.
Yeah, so
I gotta get green paint and paint my whole arm one day and just go.
Everybody be like, "What's he doing?" No, but my first one was a Murphy's patternless, and I showed you the picture.
Yeah, that's why I sent you Murphy's.
Yeah, they're so cool, man.
Now
she's getting bigger. She's eating like a champ, so she's going to be growing. She's growing. She's a little slow. The male's getting huge.
You and Paige are the only people that I know have that line left. I got rid of that whole line.
Oh, did you?
Well, I have the male that produced it. The male's the pure Murphy patternless, but I cannot produce a Murphy albino.
Not the whole thing. I didn't like it.
So
that's why you didn't want to share an ice cream with me.
Exactly, yeah.
So yeah, I got rid of. I won't produce albino patties at all. I gave you the 2, and then I gave Paige 2, and then I sold off all the Patty Het Tremper stuff at shows.
Well, when I produce eggs, if you want some back, I can ship some back to you.
Well, I have to decide what I want to do because I produced so much, so I want to go pure patty. I haven't even put together the pure patties yet. I have not even put them together. Nope.
Can I ask what you're waiting for, or you
just to see if I want to produce them this year?
Okay.
It's not a money thing to me. It's just like, should I produce them this year? Because I'm producing so many Bell Patty stuff. The Bell Patty stuff is hatching.
See, I get so excited about stuff. My first thought is, I got to produce something,
Once you get to the level where you're producing, then it's just like, oh, do I want to do that now, or do I want to wait? I'll breed them next year for sure.
How much am I going to get into? Because how much money is it going to cost Becky?
Did you hear that one?
Yeah.
That's my first thought as well. If I get these, how much food is it going to take? And am I going to be able to convince the wife that, hey.
Well, once you get going and you start selling geckos, you should be able to just turn around and put that in.
Yeah, just to sustain it.
Reminds me, for everyone that says I don't list geckos, I do have like 10 geckos listed on Owner Exotics.
There you go. I seen them, and let me tell you, my favorite ones on there are the rainwater tangerines. They're beautiful, absolutely stunningly beautiful. I got a pair, and they're beautiful.
The tangerine rainwaters I have firewater in them. It doesn't have magma, and it has some other tangerine stuff in it. What's cool about it, there's no eclipse in the line, nothing like that. It's just insanely orange geckos.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
So seriously. I got 2 females up. Let's see, I can actually put up. I got a couple bell animals. I got a bellhead eclipse. I got a radar up. Then I got some.
Leonardo asked.
What's up?
Leonardo just asked you, how's the bell patty stuff going?
The bell patty stuff, I can put that up. The bell patty stuff is going good. I have 6 eggs, and the first set's due to hatch any moment. My friend, I have a pattern bell het patty. I have a het bell het patty het eclipse, and then I have a snow het bell het patty male, and then I have one. Yeah, so they're all males, and then I have 1 female snow het patty bell.
Say that 7 times fast, everybody.
Yeah, so my friend knows what I'm going after, and I'm not doing it for money. I just want to do it. And so I have the pure patty stuff. So how my whole goal is this is if I get myself a patternless that's 66% het albino, and I breed that to a bell albino, and I get a bell albino out of it, I'll get a bell albino het patty. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to produce all females. And do the vice versa for the other way, and then I'll eventually get a patty het bell and a bell het patty. And when I breed those together, I should, in theory, be able to hit it easier. But it's like 3 to 4 year project, unless I get lucky. And what is it? 1 in 16th or 1 in 32? 1 in 16, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
To get the bell patty, but it's hard to hit. I know it's been done though.
It's 1 in 16, right? Yeah, 1 in 16. Yeah, I think you're right.
So I think the reason my buddy gave it to me is I purchased the snow het patty bells, the pair, and I didn't want the snow, Gene. I didn't want it, and I was trying to buy the non-snow one. Well, the person fell through on that one, so I got that one too, and then I got another one, but it has an eclipse in it. So I don't know I have no clue. I think it'd be easier to produce females that are visual 50% het patty, and then the next year breed the patty to all them females, the pure patty, and then I would be able to know which ones are het patty. You know what I'm saying? So then that I have 1 year killed for them females. I won't be able to hit the bell patty. But then I have myself bells, het patty. I know them females are. And then I can go ahead and do the same thing with, then I would have to create a male. But the male is going to be harder. But if I do like a male visual patty het bell, and a possible het bell, and I breed it to 2 bells, and I get all the males that do that, and I breed it to two bells each time, and I find out which one it is. It's just going to take 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, but it's fun though. That sounds like a lot of fun to try to work into them projects like that.
And I'll have tons of animals to sell.
That's all right though.
But yeah, I mean, I just want to do it to do it. That's the only reason I'm doing it. Yeah.
No, go ahead. Finish
it's just I just have to hit it. I got to do something that says it can't be done. You
got to do it. Prove it could be done. You know, when animals grow fast, is pick the geckos.
Pictas get the size, 6 months, 7 months?
It's something like, I don't know. These things, I'll fill a bowl up. If I filled that bowl up with mealworms and stuff every day, it would be empty every day. So I got to do it like every couple days. Otherwise, I'll be big fat blobs sitting there, won't be able to move.
That's something I don't do with my geckos, my leopard geckos, though, is feed, because I could probably feed my babies every 2 days.
Yeah.
Because the small breeders do that, and they get their animals to 40 grams in 2 months.
Yeah,
And
no, I'm not. That's not. What
I don't
want
do
to
that.
no.
I feed my babies twice a week, if that. And I was like, well, that's just mean. If they're growing perfectly fine. Maybe that's why I get up to 18 to 20 eggs out of my females too.
That could be. And another thing is, in the wild, there's no way they eat every day in the
No.
wild. There's no way.
And-
No
and
way.
And I tell everyone at the year mark, my females are still 60 to 80 grams, 50 to 80 grams, should I say. They're always around that 12 month. They're still the same size. I just didn't rush them to get there.
Do you know why that worked? You know why they grow so good? It's because they're not putting so much energy into digesting food. They're putting it into their bodies for growth. When you're constantly feeding an animal, constantly nonstop, they're not growing, they're digesting food. That's what they're spending they're putting all their energy into digesting food. Where if they go a day or so, like every other day or every 2 days or whatever without eating, they end up growing, putting that energy into other things like growth and health.
And I do that with my crescents. That's why my crescents grow so slow. Is I feed them mealworms. Mealworms, crescents. I feed them mealworms. I feed them the gecko diet and stuff. And like these alligator lizards, I'm going to learn with them, but I'm probably not going to feed them every day.
I wouldn't think you would feed them every day
because my adults don't eat every day. They always got mealworms in with them, but you can actually tell that they don't eat every day. And they'll eat the mealworm beetles. The Darwin beetle, what are they called? The mealworm beetles. They eat them.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't know
they
the name.
They don't care. I have one.
No?
They don't care. They will eat them.
I know that like snakes, if you feed them a lot just to get them up to size, to grow, to breed, they never do well as adults. They end up after a while. They don't live as long or nothing because they're not meant to grow that fast.
These things are so
darkling beetles.
Darkling, that's it.
That's what Leonardo put it up there.
I don't know everything. I just know what I feed.
He's the man. He got it.
Yeah. Mickey from Throw Me Snakes put up that you don't have to go to college to make money.
No,
something like that. And I said I kind of wish I went to college, but then I don't, and I just wish I experienced it. I didn't go, and but everyone thinks I made it. I don't want it. I'm a big breeder. I don't want it. I don't want to be a big breeder. I'm just good at it. I love the animals. I want to do more education. I would rather have a zoo and do education and photography, and breed rare species like the alligator lizard. Even though these ones are not that rare, it's still rare. It's just not. I mean, it's not as rare as some of the species. Because I'm not the first to have babies, and I guarantee it's just no one puts out the information.
No,
they just don't do it.
And it doesn't bother me to share information. I've read, everything I've read, and I've been successful at it. And if people have questions, I'm more than happy to answer questions.
I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to put these out, how I'm doing these, and I'm going to give that kid credit because it's, I think they're a few years old, the videos. They seem to be working out pretty good. I open them up. I put the little caps in. I could probably give them bigger, but I think they do pretty good here because the stuff is not running away from them.
You got these right as because they were born in your facility, so you got them as young. I bet you by the time they're adults, you'll be able to hold them and pet them and stuff.
I'm hoping. Yeah, I'm holding. Oh, he just jumped. Jumped in my other hand. Show you how small it is.
Them things are so tiny, but they're cool. They're very, very cool. When you first sent me that picture, I'm like, what are they, skinks or something? And you're like, no, they're the alligator lizards. I'm like, what the heck? Congrats.
Yeah, they're cool.
Every week on the show, she's hiding. I hope she's having these babies soon. And I was like, I hope she has them soon.
She was digging everywhere. And I don't know if she had the babies in the hide. And because there's no way the babies that were in there could get out. They couldn't get out. Because the hole's in the middle of the container. Yeah. But then there was some out of it. So I don't know if she had them. Started having them, and then she ran over there and had the rest of them.
Yeah, that's what there's probably more in there. If you look around, there's probably more.
Yeah, they can have up to 17, 18, I think is the record. I keep looking over there to see if I see anything, but I don't see anything moving this time. But she had fun today because she got mealworms off a tong, so she didn't have to move. She's lazy. But I'm going to be doing a video of them.
So we're going to make this easy for you, Gary, okay?
What's that?
Everything you found that you have in them deli cups, you can keep. Anything left over there besides the parents, you got to send to me, bud.
Okay, there we go. There might be more in there. Now,
I'm only kidding you, though. That's funny as hell, though.
I
That's
did have
great.
2 stillborns, though. There was 2 stillborn dead babies.
Yeah.
I found.
Well, that happens a lot with stuff that gives live birth.
They were. I thought maybe they were just born, and I interrupted her, but she wasn't in the container, and I was like, "Oh, I picked them up." No, they were dead. One was deformed, like it was like stuck to its own body, and then the other one was just a dead baby. And I was like, okay.
Now you see the one that was deformed. You wonder if that had something to do with it getting too hot that day, like you said.
That's what made me. Yep. If they were in there like 3 days, I thought I was doing good. I'm like, oh, they don't need heat, but they can go in here, Nope. My cave geckos don't even go in there. My cave geckos are over here just because, I mean, too hot, they'll die.
Yep. I find the crested geckos, if it starts warming up in the room, they kind of get sluggish. They don't really like to do much.
Mm-hmm. They don't like that heat.
I keep it about 75 in the room that they're in, so they do good. I
do give these guys UVA and UVB. I had lights that were UVA, UVB, and they gave off too much heat. So I took them away and I went fluorescent. I didn't like that heat. But, yeah.
I give my turtle UVB. Not every single day, but I do it like every other day because I got a hot lamp and then I got the other lamp, and I switch every other day. I flip them. There
you go. Yeah, all our tortoises have UVA, UVB. My Nile does. Our Diamondback Terrapin does. Let's see. My alligator lizards do. Some of my cresties do. Let's see what else. My tokays do. Trying to go through everything that has it. Of course, Memphis does. Memphis is not scared of crap. He doesn't hide at all. He's just like, I'm here. What's up? And when he wants to eat, he's like a dog. He'll come to the front of the cage and scratch at it when I'm in the room.
That's like the turtle down here. Every time somebody goes in the room, he's like, he'll jump off his rock, go right in the water, come over to the side you're standing at. The other day, my daughter was in there and I was out, and she sent me a video. She's like, what's this problem? Everywhere I walk, he follows me. I'm like, well, reach over there and grab some pellets, drop them in there. That's what you do.
That's what we do.
He's getting pretty big, the turtle.
Yeah, but I'm gonna get another Diamondback Terrapin and get them going. I want to breed those.
Now, with those, do you have to have brackish water for those, or can you do it in the fresh water? Because I know
we have brackish. We have brackish for ours. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would do anything different.
Well, I know if you don't have brackish water, they can get some kind of skin lesions or something. It has to be brackish for that. At least that's what I've always been told.
Yeah, I did. We just throw salt in there so to make it brackish. I don't test what size it is with the
no,
level.
You just
throw it in there, and then it evaporates. And people think you got to add more salt. No, you don't. Salt don't evaporate.
No, the salt don't evaporate. Only the water does.
You just put. Man, when I had a saltwater tank, and I would tell people, and they just see me, is that salt water? I'm like, no. Like, why you put it in there? Salt don't evaporate. Every single time I tell them that salt doesn't evaporate. So their salt level is actually more in that tank now since there's less water.
Yeah. So, but if you do water changes and it doesn't evaporate, then you have to add salt.
Yes.
If you're just adding water, because the salt will build up on the side of the aquarium. So yeah, salt doesn't evaporate; only the water does.
Yep. My dad had a 250-gallon saltwater tank. And he used to do that all the time. He'd just do weekly water changes because he had some rare fish. I forget what he had. He had a goby they said wouldn't live, and the thing lived forever.
Yeah, there you go. Your dad knew what he was doing with it.
So it was fun. And now I got let's see. I got to do them guys there. I got to take care of the alligator lizard adults, and I got to move a rack in here. I just got my studio lights on right now.
Yeah.
That's all I got on. It looks really lighted, but I literally only have 2 studio lights like on either side of me. Behind me is a green screen, so the rest of the basement's dark.
Yeah, I only got this one light on right here. It's a one that hangs over my computer, but if it's on I can bend it and it shines right on me. So
you should do that green screen like you said you're going to do and paint the wall.
That's what I want to do. I was thinking that. I was like, if I paint this wall and I set up over there, it'll be perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I thought about doing it here because I could paint the wall behind my computer here and just turn it and have it like office-y. But I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I just didn't want to do that.
Now, they sell green screen paint to paint a wall, but can't you just go buy paint and get the color that matches the freaking?
Yeah. I don't know. On this one, on this program, you can do green or blue. But on most programs like my Corral or Cyberlink or the Adobe programs, you can actually set the green screen color to any color you want. Like literally you can just be sitting there doing your video. When you go to edit it, you can say this color right here and you pull it into the program is green screen. And it just makes it green screen. So if you're recording and you use one of them editing programs, you can do whatever you want. So that's what I need to do here is I'll sit over this way. I can sit like this, do the recording, and I could have something over here playing or whatever I want. And,
talking about it, yeah.
Yep. But then they have on most programs, they got picture in picture you can do. Stuff like that. You can do that. So there's a lot of different stuff. I'm thinking about going to Adobe because it's more powerful. There's more I can do. Like this does 4K. There's more color grading you can do. Color grading is something that is really cool to do.
Do you know how much that costs? I'll look it up when I'm done, though.
Adobe? I was just looking at it. If I go to my services, let me see here, and I want to go to Adobe, and let's just go like this. How much is Adobe Video? Let's see here. Adobe Premiere Pro. I can get Premiere Pro for $20.99 a month, but I can get every Adobe program, every single one for $52 a month. I pay $10 a month for my Lightroom and because I got a deal. I got Spark, Lightroom, Photoshop, and something else. But if you're one of the people that use it all, you can get Animate, you can get Edition, Spark, but Premium Pro is $20 a month, and if you buy it outright, it don't tell me because I'm in my account. It says annually is $239. You can use it. It doesn't tell me how to buy it outright.
See,
but
I just got to figure out what I need to transfer videos from my phone to my Mac because this is a what's the name? Android, of course, and my Mac is a Mac. So,
yeah, it would work. Like with my $10 a month, these are the ones I get: Creative Cloud, Document Cloud, Experience Cloud. I don't know what them are. Spark, I use that to make our images and stuff like that and logos. Lightroom is for editing. Portfolio is somewhere I can put all my pictures. Behance, Stock, Fonts, Adobe Sign, and Photoshop. So I get to use all those for $10 a month.
I mean, I have iMovie on here, which does a pretty good job too.
Yeah,
I like iMovie, but like I said, I got to figure out how to get from the phone to the iMac.
But we got to figure that out. Or
there is a way to do it. I know there is because I know a lot of people have Mac computers.
You want to buy this?
How much?
I think they're only like going to use for like $550.
Yeah.
But there's a Mark II now. I'm telling you, dude.
I have a GoPro right over.
Just use it. Now, this one here, I got to buy the thing that puts the mic on it. But if you have a GoPro 4,
I have a Hero 3.
A Hero 3, I think you can just hook a mic directly to it.
Yeah, you can. I got to figure out. It's sitting up here behind my Funko Pops.
I have to buy a thing that's like $60 to hook a mic up to this. and then I can hook a regular mic up to it and it'll sound better.
With the Hero 3, I think you just plug it in.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
know why
pretty
they
sure I've
changed
seen
that.
it.
I don't know why they changed it, but now mine, I got a screen on the back. It's built in.
Yeah.
But the 9, it has a screen on the front too. This one doesn't.
Now, see, with the Hero 3, I could put it on to my phone, so I got a screen on my phone because it doesn't have a screen on the back, and I can see exactly what I'm filming.
Yep, you can do that.
I know that.
And it makes it's easy. You just pop out the card. Like this screen on the front just tells me numbers. But this one just got a little card in it. Pop it out, put it in your computer, and boom, done.
Yep.
Yeah, it's an MP4 format. I don't know what I got this one. I think I got it in 1080p, I think. But this will do 4K, but 1080p is all you need. 720. We're streaming right now in 720.
And it looks great.
A lot of people don't understand. If you don't have a computer when you're streaming to be able to do 4K or 1080p, go down to 720. It actually looks better.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It looks better. And then like where we are now, like if we went this way and we didn't have the computers, it gets a little more grainy. But we go back and it's smaller and they can blow this
clear.
Yeah, they can blow this up and it looks great. Mm-hmm. Streaming in 720s is just fine. I should stream. That's what we should do next week. If we don't have anyone, I should set up a camera in the alligator lizard cage.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe Memphis's cage.
I used to take the GoPro and put it in the aquarium and feed the discus fish and stuff and watch them eat.
So this is going to do on the 9th. I'll be at my mother and father-in-law's. I'm a little upset because I couldn't find this, so I couldn't put this in the water.
Oh.
So now that I found this, this goes out to, I don't know, like 3 feet, 4 feet.
What's it, a lake or something? Are you going to a lake?
Yeah, it's a pond. Yeah, it's a pond lake. The turtles come right up to the edge. I can put this right in the turtle's face.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
They won't let me get close to them, but they'll let a stick get close to them. You can pet them with a stick. Like literally, they'll sit there and let you pet them with a stick.
Wow.
They're weird. But if you go up and get in the water, they'll swim off.
That'll be cool.
So that's what this is going to be. This is going to be my, and it's waterproof. Why it is? I can throw it in the water like this, and it's waterproof. It's pretty.
Yeah,
cool.
and mine I have to have that thing around it.
Yeah, you should look up a 7. I got this for like 180. I won't buy a 9. They're like $300-$400 for the black.
Yeah. But
all right, dude. We'll probably end this if we want to.
Sure, no, that's fine.
Nothing. We'll cruise and we'll stay on afterwards like we usually do.
Yep.
But thanks for everyone tuning in.
Thank you, everyone, for popping in.
I got to take care of some cave geckos and some alligator lizards.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. So,
yep.
We do got some guests coming up, and we will announce it when we get the date. It'll be some fun.
Yep.
We'll drill.
They're gecko people.
Yeah, they're gecko people. I do have Chris from Suburban Gecko said he wants to come on too. I can say that. And Heidi will. Let's see. Also, I won't put out. I got to talk to someone really big with animals and wildlife. He's going to see if we can do something for the Madison Herp Society. But I'll see if I can get him on here too.
That'll be cool. Yeah, that'll be fun.
I don't want to say the name so people don't bother him if he's on their friend list, but I doubt that they are. No, I'll say it. We'll get someone like him on. We'll get going. So I appreciate everyone tuning in.
And don't forget about Gary's giveaway.
Oh yeah, I always forget about that. Get over to Fauna Radio's. I forgot to put the link in the thing. Go to Fauna Radio's YouTube. Get to 1,000 likes. I'll give away a pair of bloods. My bloods are insane. I just sold more bloods at the last show. I put them out. They sell. Maybe I'll even up it if we get there quick. If we get there quick enough and I have one, I'll give away a blood tangerine, albino, Tremper albino. So
what more could you ask for?
I sell them for $500 and above just for those, just for the albino version. So get over there, share Fauna Radio, get the likes up there, 1,000. I'll do a live little spin-off. We'll figure something out.
Yep.
So, all right, guys, we are out.
Peace.